Jesus said that my kingdom is not of this world. If it were, my servants would fight to prevent my arrest by Jewish leaders, but now my kingdom is from another place, right? He was there, but he said that his kingdom is not here. Like, so nobody is here to fight for him. So, where is the Jesus kingdom then? Then he said that my kingdom, the God's kingdom, is in the person's heart and mind. God's kingdom does not come simply by obeying principles or waiting for signs. The kingdom is not discovered in one place or another. For God's kingdom realm is already expanding within some of you. So, as we talk always about the Vedanta and Gita, we say that where is the God? The God is inside, right? It's nowhere outside. So, the same teaching of the Christ also, that whatever is there, the self reside inside us. The entire kingdom, the entire everything is inside. So, there is nowhere to go outside and look. There is nothing we have to find outside. So, the teachings are very similar and very same, like how we always talk. And how to reach to that place, we all know that that to reach to that place inside ourselves where the God's kingdom is there, where the God reside, it's by cleaning our inner self, continuously cleaning ourselves, doing no to all the unnecessary things, healing ourselves. It's not that you just remember God or you wait for God, how it's written there, and God will come. No, it's the constant work. We have to work on ourselves constantly. Doesn't matter how many temples or churches we made outside, it's the same thing. The inside, we have to invite the God. So all the construction we have to do, it is inside. And remember the Krishna meditation. Okay, in Hindi class, I was doing Krishna meditation. In that, when I was doing that, it was like, for the grace of God to come inside us, we need to have no anger, no greed, no jealousy, not too many desires also. If so many things are in our heart and our heart is filled with so many things, where is the space for God to come and reside? So, for that, we need to keep our heart clean, not too many thoughts into our mind. And then we'll see the God inside you. So, I like this thing very much. And we are reading about the Ramakrishna Paramhans, and Ramakrishna Paramhans was the one who, with his practice, he had like when he was doing practice, his sadhana. At that time, he said that he want to, experience Allah. He want to experience Jesus Christ also. So there was one of his. Shambhu Malik was one of his friend or disciple. He used to come to Ramakrishna Paramhans and read Bible to him to just gain the knowledge. And the Ramakrishna had a desire to feel the Jesus Christ. So he went in the park of the Shambhu Malik, like his garden, and he started meditating in his outside on Christ. So Ramakrishna Paramhans left the Kali temple and he went outside, and he wanted to see that how, if I worship Christ, how it turns. And then he had experience of Mother Mary and the Christ in his lap, and he saw them coming, Mother Mary and Christ coming and merging into his entire body. And he then said that I can say that the Christ is there, and the feeling of Christ is full of love and compassion, and it opens the heart chakra. It directly goes into the heart. So, always when we talk about Ramakrishna Paramhans, there will be a chapter we were talking about him. So there will be chapter about him, that how he experienced the Christ in his life. And it took him like 4 days. For 3 days he meditated, and the fourth day he saw that a very extraordinary person like approaching towards him. And when he saw that extraordinary person, he understood that this person is a foreigner, like he's not from India, he's from somewhere else. And as the person came near him, and he just merged into Ramakrishna Paramahansa. So it was Ramakrishna Paramahansa's second experience. First was Mother Mary with the baby Christ in his lap, in her lap, and the second was that he saw the Jesus coming and melting, merging into him and melting into together. And after that, Jesus Ramakrishna Paramhans went into a samadhi and lost the outward consciousness at all for some time. And when he woke up, then he said that, okay, all this thing happened to me. So till now, like they celebrate Christmas a lot in Ramakrishna Paramhans, because Ramakrishna Paramhans got the encounter with Jesus. So they still celebrate him.
That's a great story. I had not heard that one before.
Oh, you haven't heard? It's in Ram. You haven't read the Gospel of Ramakrishna Paramhans?
I read parts of that, and I read mostly the other one that's a different author.
No, this one has.
It's something about the Leela of Sri Ramakrishna, something like that.
I read that book. Yeah. In the Gospel, it will come. It will
Mm.
come. So Ramakrishna Paramhans encountered with like many things, like with the Allah. He experienced Allah, he experienced Krishna, he experienced Ram. So he went beyond Devi. So he experienced many things. So in that, uh, this is one of his experiences.
Mhm.
Yeah, he wanted to see like
Right.
how the all gods are there. So
Yeah.
now you can go ahead.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to say in reflection of what you said, there is a when Christians, Catholics especially, saying the rosary,
Mhm.
it's divided into segments of 10 Hail Marys, they call them decades, and before each one, you proclaim one of the mysteries. And there's a set of them, or one of the mysteries is the proclamation of the kingdom of God. And it's the teaching from Jesus Christ. You brought this in. It's the teaching that the kingdom of God is here and now. That people had viewed it as something out there and separate from planet Earth and kind of unachievable. How to connect to it. And his teaching was that no, this is it. Just like you said, it's the going inward into that. And then related to that is the I've read some things that have said that Christ's actual birthday was not on December 25th. It was more like summer. And they moved it because of the winter solstice being representative of the like it was part of the culture back then that winter solstice was celebrated, and especially in the pagan traditions. And it's a time of turning inward. And in the winter solstice, anyway, the days are shorter. We have there's much more darkness.
Mhm.
Life begins to slow down in the winter, and it's a time of processing that and sort of an internal death that can happen, so that there's a freshness for new things to grow in the spring. And so there's all of these kind of allegories with this, or kind of connections with winter solstice being Christ's birthday, but it's a symbolic birthday for Christ. And
Mhm.
there's meaning behind it, that the solstice is the time to really turn within. And one of my favorite writers about Christ is Yogananda. And
Mhm.
he talks about in his path how it's emphasized to make connection to the actual celebration of Christmas is the
Mhm.
turning in. It's not all this gift giving and things that it has become that's so commercial these days. And so he's always urging his disciples to take time and remember the real Jesus Christ and the real presence of this one who kind of made significant changes on the planet by giving himself in the way that he did in the end of his life and suffering. The Christians take that piece too far, in my opinion. That his suffering was necessary and needed, and on one level I agree that that's a part of it. But I think the big piece, and this is something that Yogananda drives home, is that Jesus Christ, when he died on the cross, was in oneness. And because he was in that state of oneness when his death happened, everybody died on the cross. So we've all been taken through that portal. And it's just going back into remembering his presence and feeling the connection in our own heart, whether it's, whoever your deity is, you can go there, but just to feel that sense of turning inward, finding the connection with the oneness, and those, the sins of mankind or whatever the original sin, all that is kind of erased by this is part of the teaching. It's just erased by all of that, and all we have to do is go back in and remember the state and be in touch with that. So it's interesting, as I talk about it, I feel more of that. Like here it's kind of gets exciting. I'm in touch with the vastness and the sense of I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything is good. There's a goodness in all things, and that the struggles that we face in our external lives are like it's part of our learnings to separate from our attachment and our attachments in the world. And when we begin to do that, we can enjoy all of the external things in life without having to be attached and clinging. And that's, I think, the real challenge of being human. We're in these bodies where we have feelings and we have, uh, we're impressioned by things. For really sensitive people, if we watch a violent movie, it's hard on us. Those things, that's part of being human. And so we're in this place where we're learning to navigate being in this world and not of it. And that's the way the Sufis view it, and it feels, I think, right for me that that's how we be in the world. But for me, just going back and making that step to remember, I feel the bliss. I feel the sense of the vastness and the sense of connection isn't quite the right word for it for me, because it's not like there's something to connect to, but the sense of everything is connected. Like the substrata of everything is all the same, and so one can never be alone in that environment.
Yeah. The sense of oneness,
Mhm.
like the Holy One, the sense of oneness, nobody is alone. And with the suffering, you said, yeah, he suffered. But when you see the life of many of the avatars, when they come to earth, when they come, we see a suffering in their life. All of them. Like if you see Ram, he suffered. Like Krishna also had so many things going on with him. Jesus Christ suffered. Like the suffering we see in all of their life. So basically, what I understood, that the suffering it present their human, right? So when somebody is in the pain, when we see someone in the pain, it's very easy for us to connect with that person because we have pain in our life and suffering. So when we see, we get connect. So they have showed that pain and suffering so people can get connected with them very easily.
Yeah. And I think another piece that I was just reminded of when you were talking about that is about Ramana Maharshi and how he had this cancer when he was getting older, and eventually it killed him. But he was detached from it. And so on one level he's suffering, but on another level he's not suffering at all. So it's only a suffering on the human level. It's really then a matter of what are you identified with. And so if you know, he could be feeling the suffering on the human level and it didn't bother him because that he knew that's not really what he is. And so I think, I don't know, I'm just reminded of that because it's so, I don't know, I feel awe about that somebody could have this big growth on his arm and he would say, well, if you want to operate on it, then go ahead, you can do that. But he didn't care. The people wanted to save his life, extend his life. And he was like, yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the beauty. Even for Ramakrishna Paramhans, he had that throat cancer and he was not able to eat and he used to have so much pain. And then once Vivekananda, he told that you can ask Ma for anything. She will do anything for you. Then why are you suffering with so much pain? And okay, you don't want to remove pain, that's fine. But ask her that at least you can eat food because nothing was going inside. And he went and he asked Ma that why I am not able to eat food. Like, how will I eat food? And the answer to him, which came very beautiful, are you like, there is no separation, right? There is no difference between you and other people. When others are eating, are you not tasting the food? Like, the consciousness is one, so everything is one. And if others are eating, are you not happy that they are eating? So why are you even complaining? So it means like total uh, leaving the body consciousness, going beyond the body. That body is not important. And he didn't took any medicine. After that, he didn't complain. He said, okay, everybody is eating, I am happy. And a glimpse of it, we can see in many people, right? Especially the girls, when they feed someone, they feel so happy. And during feeding others, sometimes the food finishes. And then also they are satisfied from inside that other people ate very well. So it's like the on the lower level, that kind of feeling come. And the higher level, it's like, okay, if I can't eat, I can't drink, that's fine. Others are eating and drinking, and that is like wonderful. That is very good. So people have this kind of different experience. So the suffering always it gets easy for us to relate and learn. If somebody comes on the earth and say that I am God or I am this, people will be like, it will take time for them to understand. Like when Krishna said that I am Krishna, it was hard for Arjun to understand that, okay, he is the God. Because everyone is born on the earth and same way they are, getting life, the same thing they are eating, they're living in the same house. Suddenly it gets very hard to understand that this person is not an ordinary person, this person is God. So that's why they show the suffering and everything, that okay, I'm like you, I'm human, but I am a human with very high consciousness, or I am the pure consciousness. They prove that. So that's why the suffering part is there. It teaches us the patience and uh, not giving too much importance to the body, right? If Jesus has given importance to his body, he would have listened to other people and not went for the, like, he wouldn't have died like this. So he did not give importance to his body, he gave importance to his teachings. What was the message he has to give? He was giving importance to that message, not to the body. So none of these people were body centric. Yeah.
I'm curious, we have a lot of wisdom in our group here. If other people have things they want to share about what,
Yeah.
what the Christmas season might mean, or orientation to Jesus Christ, or some of the other saints that Atma Priya has talked about.
Yeah. Anybody want to share? Christ?
I have a question. Okay.
Yeah.
When did this gift giving and gift exchange started for Christmas? No, I mean, like all these sound so beautiful. I don't think they did it at that time, right? So, just curious.
When I think
Any,
when the Digitalization of marketing started happening.
No, seriously,
All in.
any idea, like, how many years ago did this start? Like, the gift exchange for Christmas?
I don't know.
Man.
It's since before I was born.
At least I would think only in the last century, right?
Last
Really, only
century,
that
right?
short? Yeah, maybe.
Just
I don't know. But it was part of the spirit of Jesus' teachings, even. I remember the story of Mary Magdalene when it was one of his last days. It may have been Holy Thursday, the day before his crucifixion. But she washed his feet in a holy oil. And it was, some of the apostles were kind of up in arms about that. There's this, you're spending this expensive oil. We could be feeding people with the cost of that. And Jesus said, no, let her go, let her do what she wants to do. So she was moved from her heart to give this gift to him as she knew her time with him was limited. And so the spirit was there from that time, and his whole teaching around love was, it's very heartful, and everything is a gift.
makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it all started as love as a gift, and then it became more and more of materialistic things, and then showing your love by giving something the other person likes. So,
Yeah.
makes sense.
So the real essence is lost somewhere. People are like busy buying gift only. And
So
then
my favorite gifts that I've ever gotten have been donations that have been made in my name for something that to me, that's touching when someone's willing to do that. And,
yes. So yeah,
it
people
feels also that there's a connection, like I feel seen or understood, because that's what I want for the world. That children that are not being fed, if we can feed them, that's everything.
I have a
Yeah,
question, a comment and a question, right?
yeah. Mhm.
So all these avatars, right?
Can you turn on your
Yeah.
video while you're talking? Thank you.
Somehow I knew you were going to say that, so my hand was already on it. So, I guess, my comment is that all these avatars that tried to, again, take birth on the earth were trying to be as human as possible so we can relate to them, right? They went through the motions of family, growing up, all these challenges so they can show what good looks like, right? So that part of that is pain, part of that is everyday life to life drama. So that, I think that's what they wanted to do. Like we are more open to listening to somebody who we think are similar to us than completely opposite to us, right? We are human, so they came down as human. That was my comment. But the extension of that, that's where my question is, right? If you take the case of Jesus Christ, right? He went through his life just like a common man, but then he showed extraordinary strength towards this pain that is being caused before he passed away. That's not something regular humans can even fathom or relate to, right? That's where the commonality for me ends. I'm like, I don't think I can go through with that pain for whatever great cause it is, right? Then how, they started out being like regular human beings. Hey, we are one of you, and look, this is how the life you should live. But then at the end, they go divert so much from what is like normal and regular that again, I feel like the disconnect happened, right? Like even with Krishna, right? He went through the childhood, just like we would, all the naughty stuff, all that is great. But then at some point, he went to Mahabharata, and then he's suddenly transformed into this god who can, talk about Bhagavad Gita, many other things, right? So again, the commonality and I cannot relate to him anymore because all of a sudden now he's got extraordinary abilities, whether it be patience, knowledge, whatever it might be, right? I feel like all this while they're kind of close to us, suddenly they go like this, like in the curve, right? And then we're still here. So yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around that.
I think it's not that they're trying to be like us and to show that. I think it's more that they're simply being an expression of the divine in a human form. And so their life is the life is an expression of the divine throughout. And in some parts of it, it's very simple. And you can see the simplicity in Krishna's life, and his playfulness about wanting to steal the butter and things like that. But it's all has this divine Leela piece into it. And then when there is a situation that arises that requires the higher octave of who he really is, that comes forth and expresses. But when he's relating to another human being who's expecting a certain kind of friendship presence and relation with him, what comes through is exactly that. So he's meeting the needs of that person in that moment. And then he's also meeting bigger needs when there's need for, like, his teaching in the Bhagavad Gita to come through. And it's really my view of it is that there's great freedom in those souls. And the expression comes through in each moment of exactly what's needed from their action.
Yeah.
Yeah. When the need is there, he's right. When the need is there, they just transform. Right. So when the same thing we can say when the disciple is ready, when the people are ready to listen to them, they just show it that, okay, this kind of knowledge I have and who I am and why I came on the and they live like us to connect with us, right? And suddenly because they have a mission in their life, right? And the mission is very big. So they prepare the ground with everyone so everybody can, listen to them, look towards them, and then they like present their biggest face or biggest consciousness that, okay, this is the thing I came and these are my teaching and this how you have to live your life. So when you look at these things, when you look at Christ, when the suffering comes in our life, we can say that, okay, whatever suffering is there, look, he also suffered so much. He like he went beyond it. His consciousness was so big, right? So we learn that, okay, if the suffering is there in our life, it's okay. I know it's not okay, but yeah, it's a part of life. After that, there is always a chance for us to open up more. And always the suffering, the problems, they are the teacher in our life, right? They teach us.
Mhm.
They teach us. So having a different view to look at problems. That, okay, why the
Yeah.
problem is happening.
Yeah, and although as I'm hearing from Amritananda and you, it's also I'm relating here that yes, we all have our regular lives, but then we step up for a cause when we need to have that braveness in ourselves that hey, we can step up. Maybe not as extreme as they did, but within our own capabilities, we should step up and take on some of those when we feel ready and when we think there's a bigger purpose there, right? Like,
Yeah, that's a great point.
And they did all the suffering. They bear all the suffering because of so much love and compassion for the humanity.
mm,
There was so much compassion inside them, right? They were like, okay, if for the people, if I have to bear this pain, I will bear this people so the entire humanity can get upgraded.
benefit, yeah. Mm.
They, so when you have this kind of compassion inside you, then whatever comes in front of you, you will be ready to face it. That, okay,
I
if
remember, go ahead.
yeah, No, you say.
I was just going to make a reference to Gandhi, that he one time said to his brother, "You need but extend your concept of family to understand why I want to have all these people, like he had many people living in his, home basically, and the work that was happening there was supporting other people in their community, and then that came up because he told his brother that I cannot repay you for my college tuition that you paid to set me through to college. And he explained why, that there was other needs, that these needs were superseding. And that's when he came up with the comment, you need but extend your concept of family to see that the service requires a broader scope than that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, the concept of very selfish family, like it should be more broader. That okay, the compassion, like people usually we have love and compassion for our family only, right? So it should be borderless. That it is for everyone, so everyone can come in that family thing. Yeah. So that's why the opening of heart, right? When the heart open, the real compassion comes. Till the heart chakra is not open, it's like only the very materialistic and bodily love we can see. Yeah, slowly you guys will understand the real difference between love and compassion, the real love and this outward love. It's so different. Totally different.
But the seeds of it are there in our own families.
Yeah.
Like if there's not enough food for breakfast for the whole family, and the kids are getting ready to go off to school, the mother and father will always make sure that the children have eaten before they eat. And so it's the same thing. It's just on a different level. And it's you're clear if you're in that situation that you're not going to starve if you miss your breakfast. And there's a real desire to make sure the kids have a good start to their day. And the same, if you just extend it out further, it's the same thing.
Yeah, when you read about Vivekananda, or there was the movie of Vivekananda, and maybe we'll post the link so everybody can watch during the break. So Vivekananda, there was a time he was so poor, his father passed away, and there never used to be food inside the house. So he knew that there is no food, and if he will eat, his mom will not get anything. So he used to come late home and tell his mom that I ate outside, and he used to be hungry for 3 days without any food, only on water. So with the compassion towards the family, he never said that I'm hungry. And then that compassion came out when it was needed, and it showed the love for the entire world. He did so many things. So it starts from the very low level, from the family.
I remember that movie, the times when he was in Chicago without
Yeah.
a coat and having
Yeah.
to spend the night outside one night. And there were two other people next to him saying, I wonder if he will survive the night,
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
We saw that movie in the bus, remember?
Yeah,
We
saw
did.
it.
Oh, yeah. I had watched it before the trip.
Yeah, even I watched it before the trip. Yeah, it was like touching movie, right? That the character you can see. We fight for smallest things, right? We show so selfish nature, and when you look at these kind of personality, we feel that we are so small. We are worrying for so small things and
Right.
running up.
No, I still feel that way today. Like, sometimes I look at how I've been living my life and compare it to great saints. I'm like, oh, there's a long way to go.
I know. Even I do that. I always look at saints and I think that, okay, like, you know, I don't know which path I have to go, but yeah, someday like them, I have to become
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
saints.